Morning, Upward Bound. Anybody here with me? Hey, Laura, how are you this morning? Here's one of my special guests. Hi, Lisa. How's that donut? Good. So, Allie, this is called Tea at 10, but Daddy doesn't drink tea, so this is the Spilling the Beans edition. My friend Laura says hi. Can you say hi, Laura? Where's she? So this will be fun without my co-pilots. We'll see just how much I can talk. All right, it's 10:02. We'll get started. So I'm here to talk to you today a little bit about scheduling. This time of year, usually your counselors will go through all of the class lists and meet with you individually to schedule your classes. We'll talk a little bit about, yeah, that's right, Sammy. We'll talk a little bit about what you might need to take and how your school schedule should look for the 9th through 12th grade and what colleges are looking for, and a little bit about college. So I think I'll start with just how your schedules look now over the last couple of days. Sammy and Christina have been talking about how to keep your schedule at home while you're not in school, which I think is pretty great. I've sort of reflected on that, and I think it's a really big positive that you have this time off from school and you have all the liberty and the independence to create your schedule as you wish. We're all high school students that have to go through the rigor of the school day, and you have no liberty in that. You arrive at school at 8 o'clock. You maybe transfer from class to class every 43 minutes or every 80 minutes if you're in block classes, and your school schedule is pretty well set for you. Very little options. So how does that differ from when you're in college? And what kinds of things will you run into in a college schedule that you don't in your high school schedule? So what I think is great is that you're experiencing right now a lot of what that college schedule is going to look like. It's all about your independence and how well you manage your time, and what kinds of things you set for yourself. Christina says, I agree, Andy. I do love a flexible schedule. That was one of my favorite parts of college. Hashtag Fridays off. So yeah, Christina, let's address that right now. So in college, when you set up your schedule, I have another co-pilot here. Another guest. This is Reagan, everybody. Say hi, Reagan. Reagan and her big brown eyes and her pink passy. Don't worry, when I take that passy away, she's got 3. So flexible scheduling in college. Just like in high school, when you go to create your college schedule, you will have to meet with an advisor, academic advisor, just like your counselor, and they will help you understand the requirements you need to complete your matriculated program. That matriculated means you are in a bachelor degree program or maybe an associate degree program, but there are certain requirements you must meet to satisfy that degree. And your advisor is the person who will help you make sure you have all of those requirements met for graduation. Now, how you go about scheduling that is up to you. And there are usually a lot of options. So let's take, for instance, you're in a psychology bachelor degree program, and you have an option of 6 different professors that all teach Psych 101, which is a major requirement. And what do? Well, you're going to meet with your advisor, and your advisor is going to tell you you must take Psych 101. Then you go on the course catalog. That's the college vocab. The course catalog is usually found on the Dean of Students, or you can search it on any college website. And you're going to pick and choose which one you want. So how do you know? How do you know which class to take? Well, the differences in the classes are this. You have a choice of the professor you take. So you can ask around to maybe some friends you've made during orientation. You can ask some friends in your residence halls. Just ask them who might be the best professor to take. You'll find that some teachers are better than others, or some teachers' teaching style matches your learning style. And so you may want to choose that professor. The other option, the other difference, I agree, Sammy, yes, for residence halls and living on campus. That's a great point, Sammy, because when you're living on campus and you're around so many people who are going through the same thing, you have people you can ask these things of. Hey, who did you take? I really like them. Or maybe one friend really liked that professor, but in talking to them, you find that their teaching style is not really the way you want to learn. So you can pick someone else or talk to someone else, get another recommendation. As Christina said, hashtag Fridays off. That is another piece of the flexibility in college scheduling that you can choose to have. So a college schedule runs on a very specific time frame. So classes run either Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, Friday, usually. Your Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday classes are going to be 50 minutes each. 50 minutes to an hour. Your Tuesday, Thursday classes are going to be an hour and a half each, or in some cases, an hour 15 each. So the third type of college scheduling you'll see is 1 day a week classes. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are 3 day a week. Tuesday, Thursday are 2 day a week. And then you might see 1 day a week classes. Now, those sometimes are painful. Batavia students, you sit through class for 80 minutes a day, and you know how that feels. That's an hour, 20 minutes. That's about how your Tuesday, Thursday classes are going to look. 3 day a week class or 1 day a week classes go for 3 hours. So in a 3 credit course, if you have that class 1 day per week, it's 3 hours. Hi, Michelle. Let me catch up here on the comments before I continue. Christina made a lot of good friends who were in her major and gave her great advice on good professors. Absolutely. And Lisa, 1 day a week classes are rough. Yes, they are. French Revolution for 3 hours was one of my favorite classes with Professor Joe Cope at Geneseo. So your 1 day a week classes sometimes are at night. So if you're kind of a night owl or your brain works better at night, you might have a lot of success with that 6 to 9 p.m. class. If you get antsy and you don't want to sit in a chair for 3 hours all at once, you might want to stay away from those 1 day a week classes. But generally, you will find that your 1 day a week classes are nighttime, 6 to 9 p.m. Very rarely will you see them during the day. So we've talked about 3-day-a-week classes that run for 50 minutes, 2-day-a-week classes that run for an hour and a half, and 1-day-a-week classes that are 3 hours long. So it's really about what you prefer as a student and your learning style. I think you want to keep that in mind right now. So like I said, we've been talking about how to break up your time, how to manage your time while you are out of school and you're not restricted by that school schedule, whatever it may be, 43-minute classes or 80-minute classes. And this is your time to really learn about yourself and grow personally. So you will begin to know what works for you. Personally, I never did like the 3-day-a-week or the 3-hour classes, but sometimes it was worth the grind of sitting in class for 3 hours. And sometimes you didn't have a choice. Maybe that was the only class you needed, and it was only offered 1 day a week, and it was at 3 hours. So you suck it up and deal. Otherwise, you might make that choice to give yourself a day off. Okay? So I'm finally getting to Christina's point. In Friday's day off, you create your schedule. So if you take 5 different classes, which is 15 credits, or maybe you take 6, how do you break those up? Maybe you have 2 that are Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You have 3 that are Tuesday, Thursday. Or maybe you choose to have all of your classes a little longer. Maybe 5 of them are running Tuesday, Thursday. That's a lot. And maybe your 6th class is a Thursday evening, 6 to 9 p.m. That would be a pretty crappy schedule, in my opinion. I like to spread out my week a little bit more. And when you're in college classes, they're pretty intense. So keeping your brain active all day long for Tuesday, Thursday. Remember I said those classes are going to be an hour and a half. So if you're taking 5 of those classes, you're looking at 8 hours of class time, 8 full hours in a classroom. Maybe it's possible, and maybe it's worth it to you to have a Friday off. But that's something you will need to learn about yourself and be prepared to embrace that college scheduling. Ooh, Christina said she had the opportunity to do 75-minute Monday and Wednesday classes or Tuesday and Thursday. Didn't like Monday and Wednesday. Didn't like Monday, Wednesday, Friday because it felt too short. So what Christina's saying is for her learning style, those short classes, they didn't work for her. She didn't feel like they could get into the material as well as they could in the 75-minute classes. Yeah, personal preference. Like I said, I think I preferred the Monday, Wednesday, Friday classes. So that's college scheduling. Some of the things that you might run into that are unfamiliar terminology or unfamiliar vocab is how courses are listed. When you register, you'll get that checklist from your advisor, your college advisor, and you know all the classes you need to take. You go into the course catalog, you find those classes, you pick your professors. I'm also going to plug right now in picking professors. I always used ratemyprofessors.com, which is not always the most reliable, and I think it's still used pretty widely, but you can search any college anywhere, and you can generally find reviews of professors. So if you are maybe shy and don't want to talk to the people in your residence hall, you can go on ratemyprofessors.com and you can see what other people have said for maybe the specific class that you're taking, and you can evaluate how that review lines up with your learning style. Yeah, so back to college terminology. You got that list from your advisor, you're on the course catalog, and you see all of these classes listed, MAT 129, MAT 102, and each college has a different shortened version of the subject matter. So MAT for math, maybe PHY for philosophy, maybe PSY for psychology. You'll have to learn what your individual school calls those things, and there will be detailed information about the class if you click on the class details. One thing I wanted to mention is CRN you will always see. And I know when I was scheduling my college courses, I always had to go by the CRN, course registration number. So that CRN number, I'd have to write down for each of my classes. And that's true too for the ACE classes you have to take. They may have a CRN number, and you may not see that in the paperwork that we or ACE gives you, but they do exist, and that's how the ACE department would schedule those classes. The CRN number is very specific to the section and the class. So MAT 129, section 6, has its own CRN number, different from section. So CRN is a big one that can be confusing. Also, the way a college breaks out its day. So there's abbreviations for each day: M for Monday, T for Tuesday, W for Wednesday. What do we do for Thursday? T is already used for Tuesday. So Thursday is notated as R. Who knew? Anyone know? I know Christina knows. I know Sammy knows. I think Lisa and Becky know. Any students? So R is Thursday and Friday is F. By the way, tomorrow is Friday, and we're going to be doing Fun Friday, so make sure you tune in again. I know I'm bored, and Fun Friday won't. Fun Friday will be great. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, MTWRF. So that's college scheduling in a nutshell. Clearly, I've still got my cough, guys. Comes and goes as it wants. So high school scheduling. You're out of your schools right now. You are doing your own scheduling for the moment. So we really want you to be thinking about what is working for you. Maybe try to break up your time, work on math, work on science, work on English and social studies in those similar blocks to college. You, like I said, you have the liberty right now to do what you want with your day. And we've talked in the last couple of days about how it's good to keep that schedule for yourself so you're not going crazy. You've got something to do. And you, as I said before, you're learning about yourself and your learning style. Oh, hey, Haley. Hi, Kendra. Now, I'm going to jump over to high school. Some of you may have already met with your high school advisor, your counselor, rather, and talked about what classes you're going to take next year. Usually that's dependent on how you do in the classes this year, and well, that's all up in the air right now because your school districts are trying to figure all of that out and how you're going to meet the requirements of the classes you're taking this year. We don't know a lot about that right now because this is an unprecedented time. So we're all going to be flexible and stay happy and do the best we can. But I wanted to talk a little bit about what you should be taking in high school, just so you know. It's good general information, and hopefully when you get back to school, you'll meet with your counselors and they'll help you set up your classes, and you can be prepared to be successful for that meeting. So many of you know there is a difference between the Regents diploma and the Advanced Regents diploma. And you are all Upward Bound scholars. So you probably know that we expect you to pursue that Advanced Regents diploma. Well, what does that mean? Some of you may know, some of you don't. So I'm going to tell you. The Advanced Regents diploma means that you have gone a little bit above and beyond the average high school student. And New York State has an Advanced Regents diploma that proves that. So it's called demonstrating your ability. And the Advanced Regents diploma is that. So what does that ability entail? The ability for you to get an Advanced Regents diploma requires you to take foreign language for so many years, requires you to take 4 years of English and social studies, which those are true for Advanced Regents or the regular Regents diploma. Your math and science are still very, very important. And those are the two core subject areas that you may not have to take in a fourth year. And sometimes for BOCES students, you may not have to take a math and science in your high school. You can avoid that dreaded Algebra 2 in your third year by going to BOCES and getting a third year math credit and a third year and fourth year science credit. However, what are colleges going to be looking for? And if you don't take that Algebra 2 or you don't take a third science, will you get the Advanced Regents diploma? And that answer is clearly no. You must take those extra classes to get that Advanced Regents diploma. Again, it puts you above the average student. Now, in terms of college, what do you think colleges want? Do they want the average student or do they want the above average student? So it's all up to you and what kind of high school career you want to have and whether you want to be above the rest. My hope is that all of you want to be above the rest. So really, you really need to consider carefully the classes you take and making sure that you're at least attempting to get the Advanced Regents diploma. Now, if math is really not your thing, is anybody going to force you into taking through calculus in high school? Probably not. In fact, your counselor is probably going to tell you that's not such a good idea because we don't want you to fail. And if you're not good at math, taking calculus might make you fail. No one wants that. So that's also why it's important to work at that next level. You always want to be jumping to the next level. You all want to go to college, so there is a next level. And at least through high school, you should always be striving for that next notch. Okay, so Advanced Regents diploma is foreign language, math, science, English, and social studies. And then you're, of course, to graduate high school in New York State, you also need some fine arts and some health and some physical education. All very important classes. We encourage you every week to do well in those. Attend your gym classes, change your clothes, get your grades, and graduate high school. So when you go to meet with your guidance counselor, your school counselor, when you get back to school, I suppose if you get back to school, who knows? You must bring these things up to them. You can say, hey, I want to try for an Advanced Regents diploma. And they will talk to you even more in depth about that. They'll look at your past grades. They'll see what you qualify for. And they'll help you get into those classes. A little bit. So I'll touch on the block scheduling. And I know the block scheduling sometimes makes things a little bit trickier to take a lot of classes. And that, I think that's a special consideration. So, especially with BOCES, and BOCES is a great program. I'm not knocking BOCES, but I am going to talk a little bit about the difficulties in going to BOCES and still getting an Advanced Regents diploma. So when you go to BOCES, you're there for half a day, either morning or afternoon. And what does that mean for your high school schedule? Well, if you're in block scheduling, it means you can only take so many classes at your high school each week because you spend half of the week at a different location. And while that's okay, the question becomes, and you want to ask this of your guidance counselor, can I still do an advanced regions diploma and go to BOCES? Because both would be great. I would love to do both. If the answer is yes, then you do both. If the answer is no, you don't have room for the classes you would need to take for your advanced regions diploma while still letting you go to BOCES, then you have to make that decision. Is BOCES more important to me, or is my advanced regions diploma more important to me? And that's a very individualized case-by-case thing. So I can't say which one is going to be better for you. But you'll have to meet with your advisor, you meet with your school counselor, you really have a serious conversation about what that is to look like for you in your future. It may also depend on where you want to go to college, because maybe your colleges are looking for certain requirements to be met into the program you want to go into. So I don't know about a nutshell. We're 27 minutes in. I hope you guys learned a little bit about scheduling, college scheduling, and maybe can be prepared. I know a lot of this may be redundant to some of you. We've advisors, myself, have all had this conversation with you lots. And I hope that you continue to have the conversation. I hope you continue to learn about yourself. I really think that in this uncharted territory we're in right now, you have such an opportunity. You guys are living your best life as the college student. I read an article once about school scheduling, and I think it called, now don't quote me on this, folks, but they called high school schedule like cells and bells. Classroom is your cell, the bell is your release. It's not that way in college. Well, it is a little bit. You're refined to that classroom or restricted to that classroom, and you get out when the time comes. There will be no bells in college, no bells letting you go. And if you have an emergency, you just get up and go. The thing about college is you're paying for it. You're paying out of pocket, you're paying with student loans. And if you leave, it's kind of like buying a ticket to a musical and then going to half of the musical and then leaving. Well, what sense does that make? You've paid the ticket. Why wouldn't you see the rest of that musical? Same thing with college class. You pay for every single class. You may not realize it because you pay one tuition bill, but you get all of those classes in that tuition bill. So if you break it down, you can assign a dollar value for each one of those classes. And that dollar value will probably shock you. It's going to be well more than a ticket to a fancy musical, probably more than a Hamilton ticket for each and every class. So think about that. If you're in a 50-minute class and that 50-minute class costs you more than a Hamilton musical, maybe think twice about skipping that class, right? So it's all about you, and it's all about your self-control, your time management. I'm going to catch up on these comments here. Christina, I mostly had 75-minute Monday and Wednesday classes, or Tuesday and Thursday. Didn't like Monday. Oh, we got that one. Sammy, be a math major in college. All classes have less than 5 kids because nobody wants to be a math major. I will say this. In college, I was a history major, but I loved math, and I still do love math. And I sort of wish that I had gone the math route instead of the history, but maybe I had poor guidance as a young guy. my math classes were some of the most supportive. All of the students would meet up in study groups and visualized. And so, of course, the social guy that I am, I liked more of the group work and the study groups working on math. So I don't know how true that is, Sammy. At Geneseo, I knew a lot more math majors than I did history majors, probably because the history majors were all eccentric recluses. Lisa, don't you still hate math? Christina says, but you don't have to ask permission to use the bathroom in college, which is why it's significantly better than high school. Haha. Oh, Sammy, Hamilton is fine. We'll be there. By the way, I've been looking into Hamilton at Shays. Anybody got season tickets to Shays that wants to sell me their special feature Hamilton tickets? I'd really like to go. I know someone else that would really like to go as well. Or better yet, I have an even better idea. If I buy the season tickets, will someone else take all the other shows so that I can just go to Hamilton? Maybe? No takers yet? Yeah, no one can afford that. Listen, right now we're faced with a choice: bread at the grocery store or musical tickets. But here's what I'm going to tell you: I went to a couple grocery stores yesterday, and there wasn't a loaf of bread around. So my wife also tells me that in Allegheny County, there's no yeast around. So people have figured out how to go back in time and make their own bread, and they can't do that anymore because you need yeast to make bread, and there's no yeast available. So, interesting times. Any questions from you guys? Any other questions? Otherwise, I'm going to wrap it up. All right, guys. Well, here's to spilling the beans. Like my artisan coffee cup. I drink coffee out of anything. Christina says I'm going to make snow yeast bread, like flatbread. That would be great. We could have pizza every day. Should we get together as UB staff and make some flatbread pizzas? That sounds like a fun time. Christina's homemade flatbread pizza. Mm. All right, guys. Sammy, Christina, Lisa, Becky, I hope you enjoyed your tea. I certainly enjoyed my blacker tea. And as always, all of our Upward Bound students, please reach out to us if you have any questions as you go through your week. If you need help on schoolwork, remember that we have tutor.com, which you can always go on. We're monitoring situation in schools, so we'll let you know as soon as we have other information. Till then, be well, be safe, be healthy, and we'll see you tomorrow for Fun Friday. Bye, everyone.